Hello, hello. I hope you can hear me. Well, greetings. I am your host, Autumn, and let me just shut that down. I'm here every day. My computer's being really slow today. Trying to shut everything down that I possibly can because I want to make sure I get all your questions out of the chat. Come on, work with me here. Sorry about this. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Hello, hello. I usually spend the first 10 to 15 minutes where I answer your questions. I just put everything in all caps in the chat so I'll know you're talking to me because everybody here is really friendly and it helps a lot. Just to come in and it just brightens my day. I know it brightens a lot of yours, and we have the best moderators anywhere, which really, really helps. Yeah, it's great. You guys are great. So do put your questions in all caps so I'll know you're talking to me. Otherwise, you guys kind of chat together, which is fantastic. If I don't get to your question or I don't read on it, it is absolutely nothing personal, ever. And I just have to go by my intuition. And what else is there? Yeah, I think that's about it. 10% of all income that comes into the channel from any source, 10% goes to feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country. They do very good work. All of my projects that I do, 10% gross goes to established charities. So I was doing this before this crisis. I will continue afterward. And we have a snoozy, my co-host, snoozy little boo-boo zen kitty here. Okay, it kicked me out for a second. Okay, so it looks like we're still good. Okay, all right. Let me sit down. The only problem with this having the camera up where it is. Oh goodness! Hello, sweetheart. Hello. Oh my goodness! Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Oh, big stretch. You don't look very comfortable there. You're all right. Beeping. What is the beeping? Okay, I think we're all right. Okay. I'm going to scroll up here and I'm going to get your questions. Sorry about the beeping. I'm sure it will stop soon. I'm looking for anything in all caps so I can answer your political questions. Will the anti-lockdown protesters get violent? Uncover in here, on it. Here, got the question going. So thank you for that. I might have to, I don't know what it can do. Okay, will some of the GOP finally wake up and jump ship? So, will some of the GOP finally wake up and jump ship, leaving Trump blowing in the wind? All right, let me ask that. Oh, I do hate to close the window, but if it does seem to be getting a bit noisy. Plain. Well, Let's see here. Hair of the Trump clown. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Kathy. Yeah, I put up new covers, but I just got them. I just put them up just before this, so I don't even know if some of you saw it when you came on. Well, Kamala. All right, let's have a look. Yesterday I looked at Val Demings. Today I'll look at Kamala Harris. It's strange. I did not hear about her being on Biden's shortlist. I thought there were only like 4 people on his shortlist or something. And I didn't see her name, but I could be wrong. Okay, will the Trump revelations come out closer to the election? Twana, I have read on that for like the last 3 days. And when I read on that topic, it takes over. It just takes over, and I just keep getting the same cards again and again and again and again and again, saying it's coming before the election. There's something coming. It's big. It's major arcana. It's like 5 major arcana in a row. It's big. Okay, all right, I'll read on something else. And I read on something else, and there's no, don't forget it's big. Okay. So, yes, I think I can safely say yes. Revelations will come. All right. Will the mishap with Biden hurt him with the Black community? I'll look at that, Janice. I don't think so. He's he had. I personally maybe I give him too much leeway personally, but I generally find that he's kind of Grandpa Joe, and I have found that people who grow up with a really, really bad stutter, a lot of times they stay quiet, and they don't communicate, say, as fluently. Not always, and this is not negative. This is not negative at all. It's because they're made fun of by other kids and stuff. It's terrible. So they just kind of be quiet. So the fact that someone with such a severe stutter went into politics, that's great. That's fantastic. And so sometimes he just says stuff where it's like, okay, that was not artfully expressed, but please see if Netanyahu will finally pay for all the frauds and criminal acts he did, Maria is asking. Netanyahu, I haven't read on him in a long time. Okay. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you again, Susan. I really appreciate that. Sherry, oh no, it jumped. Oh boy, oh goodness, I'm missing a lot of questions. Okay. Is there a Republican White House mole? Sherry's asking. Okay. Second here. And there is, sometimes it takes me a little bit of time after the live stream ends for me to go back and be able to get all of the time stamping, make it really accurate and clean it up, but I do get there. For entertainment purposes only, Allison is saying it is. It really is. I'm not an advisor. I'm not. Kathy saying someone is noticing us kick out. I hear you, Kathy. Okay, Jelia, will our country ever heal from the divisions imposed upon us? Yes. Yes, I have no doubt. I have read about the future. I've read about what's coming, and yes, we are going to heal. Things are going to change so radically in even the next 10 years, let alone 20, 30, 40. I mean, it's going to be shocking, because we kind of get used to the technology we have, and we're like, yeah, okay, it'll probably just be like a little incremental, a little bit more than that. No, what I'm getting is no, there is big stuff coming, big technological stuff, and things are going to change, and we're going to have different focus, and we're all going to have to work together. I mean, just to catch up and wrap our heads around it, and I think we will. Okay, Deborah is asking, will most of the states go to mail-in ballots? Okay, let me ask that. I know what I would guess, but I don't know. Okay, in North Carolina, restaurants are empty, but outside tables are filled. Yeah. Okay, Otto, my question, please. Jersey Mouse. FBI Chris Wray, whose side is he on? Just refused to answer a subpoena from the Judiciary Committee and is opening another investigation into his own department. Oh, good grief. Wray, you have that much benefit of the doubt. Do not set it alight. Seriously, don't do it. Don't do it. Will we have a relapse this summer? We're going to have relapse. It's just going to keep going. I'm more worried about fall, winter if it suddenly ramps up again. But this is going to keep going. It's the saddest thing. I mean, seriously, just reaching out for the energy, I'm like, bad, very bad. Mail-in ballots. Okay, yep, I'm asking about that. Janice is saying, if Biden does not pick a black VP, would the black people come out and vote for him? I'll ask, but I would imagine, what I've picked up also in other readings is that he would, the Democrats would win the next election if they nominated a poodle, and the poodle's favorite chew toy. I'd be like, okay, yes, vote. Poodle. They're loyal, they're smart, they don't shed. Favorite toy, we're good. Yeah, it's too important. Okay, Marilyn, will Trump's portrait ever hang in the White House? That's an interesting question. Interesting question. Okay, let me see here. Okay, this is probably going to get me through the hour, but let's. And I will tack on some time at the end if you guys have some astrology questions. Okay, will Biden's portrait hang in the White House? Can I check on the battleground states and see if Joe will win most of them? Joe is asking, I will get there. It feels, I'm feeling like I reach out for the energy, and it's like it moves step back away from me, like we'll get to that. That's what I'm getting. So I will coming up. I will. Just not today, I'm afraid. Will Trump, though, move to Cyprus? Good question. Sure, why not? Oh, exactly. Biden, he is actually a good person. He doesn't. He actually cares about people. He really does. I'm not saying he's perfect. He's not. These are politicians. Come on, I found a lot of stutters, brilliant people. Yes, they're very thoughtful. I'm not saying that. I really hope that wasn't taken out of context. My experience, and I give him the benefit of the doubt. So, is that wrong with me? Perhaps. Joanna, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, and this thing is jumping all over. I can't see a thing. Okay, good day, everyone. Humble enough to apologize makes a big difference. Obama will get his picture up when Biden is in office, absolutely. Cappy's got a fresh pot of Cafe Bustelo. Yum. Will Trump's portrait ever in the White House? I always picture it hanging in a storeroom with a cover on it. Okay, Cappy's, no, Steve. I like the Empress, but was disturbed by her statement that the election wasn't decided. It'll probably be close. Everyone else is talking landslide and a few others that he won't make it that far. All right, Steve, let's have a look at that. Matter of fact, let's start with that because I've got a great big long list, and I'm so sorry if I did not get to maybe the CDC there. I will spend some extra time on astrology. And okay, CDC. Okay, so I will add this down. Okay, so we'll start here. This and see. All right. Save this before I accidentally erase it, which I've done. Get all the questions and then accidentally refresh the page or something, or oh, it was ugly. Okay. Having a look here. All right. I listen to all kinds of music. This is completely irrelevant while I'm getting the cards out. I listen to all kinds of music, and there's a in the modern pop world, GOT7 has a new song, "Swear Not by the Moon," and it's like, oh, that's unusual, and it's so someone was putting up information, so I was down the rabbit hole of it's reference to what Juliet says in Romeo and Juliet, and the video has all of these Romeo and Juliet references, and it's about basically don't say you care, don't swear that you love me on the moon because the moon is inconstant, and I've got that stuck in my head now. Do you need to know that? No. Oh, am I going to tell you anyway? I just did. Sorry. Okay, I'm at about 18, probably about 1830. All right, let's 1830. I'm going to take out this reference to the Empress. Okay, statement that the election will probably be close. Okay, election close. A landslide. Or he won't make it that far. I think it's kind of what we're saying here. All right, I'm at 1930. Okay, let's read on this question of the 2020 election, because yes, people are getting different readers are getting different information. We're all reading on the collective energy. Nobody is 100% correct, ever. Not me, not anybody. We're just reading on the collective energy, and it's generally the consensus. But when there isn't a consensus, this can be quite stressful. So the one thing to keep in mind, though, the 2020 election is, okay, if saying, is it close? Is it a landslide, or that he won't make it that far? Well, those aren't mutually exclusive, because it could be, if he doesn't make it that far, it could be that he gets out of office just before the election, so he's still on the ballot. So then it could be close if his people come out in droves, or it could be a landslide because people are so sick of him. Voters are so sick of him. So, okay, she's not alone. Dweller Between the Waters, who I think is the most accurate on YouTube. Thanks, Harry's mom. Said it will be very hard for Biden to win against Trump and Putin. But Biden would definitely win the popular vote. No, I Dweller Between the Waters. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Dave, Trump or Biden? Trump being not including on him. Oh, you're funny. Yeah, Trump being out of office. Okay, so let's have a look. Will the election be the 2020 election and the possibility of Donald Trump re-election? All right, sitting up straight, eyes closed for a second here. 2020 election, Trump. Does he win by a landslide? Is it a landslide? Does he win by a landslide? Is it close? Does he win by it being close, lose by it being close? Is it a landslide for Biden? Is Trump kicked out of office before the election? I know there's a lot of options, but I'm trying so hard. I'm just trying to it's almost like I have my opinions and I'm removing my own energy from what I want, like piece by piece, so I can step back and just read the energy without interfering with it. Okay. Biden will have an uphill battle. We all have to vote, Janice is saying. Absolutely. 2020 election. Well, that's the card I get for the, oh, I better turn this light on. There we go. This is the card I get for the Democrats. So, all right. 2 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, Page of Cups, the Death card. Well, there's no doubt about this, and I have said this from the beginning. I will say it and say it and say it. It's going to get ugly between here and Election Day, and it's going to get uglier and uglier and uglier. And the lies are going to get more heinous and vicious, and it's going to be disgusting. It's going to be awful. So just gird your loins, as it were. Because it's going to be ugly, okay? On the one hand, Biden doesn't have anywhere near enough money, and he certainly doesn't have enough as much money as Trump does. So in some respects, it's harder to get the constant airplay. But it almost feels like this is all minor arcana. This is all lowercase. It's like he doesn't necessarily need to. He just is the same way that he's not campaigning right now. But we're still talking about him. I'm going to vote for him. I'll be perfectly honest. So it's not the end of the world. That part of it isn't the end of the world. It is going to get ugly. And what it looks like is there's going to be a big change, and it's young people who are going to come out. Young people who are seriously fed up with graduating and coming out during great recessions and huge issues where the government isn't taking care of things, where they're buried under debt, student debt, and saying enough. We don't normally get young people voting as much as they should, but they're going to come out. I am getting that. Hieroglyphic is asking, what about Bloomberg's billions? Bloomberg is, they're going to spend money. It's not that Biden's not going to have any money. It's just that it's not. Yeah, Trump won. Joe's saying Trump won last time with less money. I don't think it matters too much. Yeah, I think it matters less and less because, especially as we all spend so much more time online now, we're getting most. Oh, I'm not too worried. Is it okay? It just buffered for a second, but the camera says it's still going. Oh, Holly's saying the soon-to-be 29-year-old will vote blue. Bless you, Holly. Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, but that just said that there are a whole lot of young people who are going to come out, and they are tired of the old ways of doing things. Okay, so what does that turn into? Let's see. 2020 presidential election. Okay, the nine of cups. It's the card of the merchant. It can also be the wish card. Okay, I don't know about Bloomberg Priesteros. I'm not sure. Okay, Six of Wands. That is the victory card. Four of Wands. That's Mar-a-Lago. Four of Pentacles, the miser card, or lack of money. Page of Pentacles, trying to use what you have. Ace of Swords, Sword of Truth. Trump would love to tell you about his previous electoral victory. Again, in detail. Did you know he won the Electoral College last time? No, that's absolutely unheard of. Basically, no Republican has ever won the Electoral College in the history of the Electoral College and in the whole history of mankind. Since the Electoral College, of course, goes back to ancient Egypt, and no one's ever won the way he has, and he's because he's the best and the greatest and yeah. But looking at the election, that's Trump energy. And then Trump's energy, his money goes poof away with the wind. And then what he's left with, he tries to do something, but the Sword of Truth comes out. I think that Democrats are hopeful that they may be able to retake, should keep the House, might be able to take the Senate, hopefully the presidency. But this is just, something's coming out about Trump, and it's going to change things radically for him. Let me see so is Trump actually going to be a viable candidate on election day? Actually, I better write that one down. So it's like at 30. Oh, come on, computer, work with me here. All right, will Trump be okay, so it's like 30-30. Will Trump be a viable candidate on election day? Let me shuffle a little bit here. Is it CNN fake news? What do you say to the people of America who are very scared right now? I say you're fake news, and that's a nasty question. Excuse what? What was that? What was that? Yoy. All right. Trump. Oh, sorry. I accidentally kicked the stand. Okay. All right. Trump. Are you going to be a viable candidate? Election day 2020. Are you going to be? Oh, there. I'm feeling some air. Some air between him and. I just got the sensation of like a pocket of air. Like I'm not up against something solid. It's like back there. Oh, ask China why they think it's a competition. Yeah. Yeah, and do ask the clueless. Okay. Three of Cups, and I'm getting that shock look again, where they like look up because there's a like breaking news on TV or something. Sun, 8 of Wands, Ace of Wands, 5 of Cups, 3 of Wands, and like I said, I mean, China. Trump's out golfing. But there's a whole lot that is incoming. Supreme Court. Oh, excuse me. Just a second. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Supreme Court decisions and various things are, it's like they're in the air. They just haven't hit yet. Thank you. And he kind of tries to fight back or, rail against, but it's too late. The information comes out. And what he has done starts coming back to him. The energy he's given off, the things he's done. I just said, bless you out loud. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. This, I've got to come up with a different card for the card of disappointment, because I'm always worried. I'm like, okay, this is the card of disappointment, but I get Cups for Democrats. Is this, oh, tell me the Democrats aren't going to be disappointed. I don't think so. That isn't what it feels like at all. I think that's why I got that for the reading. It's very clear. It's like, breaking news, and it actually is breaking news. But you couldn't hear me. Oh, I understand. She does not mean any rudeness to you. Me? Oh, goodness. Did someone think I was being rude? I certainly do not mean to offend anybody. Okay, this disappointment, is that Trump? Is he going to be a viable candidate? Is Trump going to be a viable candidate on election day? I'd say the Gargantuan Tower card is saying no. High Priestess, Secrets, Ace of Swords, Sword of Truth is back. About his business stuff. The secrets, the truth comes out, the secrets about his businesses. And it's all coming back to haunt him. Okay, well, if he's not, is it going to be Pence? If Trump isn't going to be a viable candidate, is Pence going to be a viable candidate? Ugh, I hate even saying those words out loud. Goodness gracious. Okay, cards have a sense of humor, because sometimes you split a deck to shuffle it. And I started asking about Pence, and the energy is quite different. You know, I'll just leave this with you guys because I switched over to Pence's energy, and I got these two cards together. That kind of explains Pence pretty well. I'll just leave that alone. Okay, moving on. Okay, 37. Let's, because this is all related. Okay, and then after this, I will zip through as many things quickly as I can. Was that Mother? Pence. Is Pence going to be the candidate? Is he going to take over for Trump? Does Pence have an actual energy of his own? Yes. Oh, yes, he does, and it's twisted. He's very religious in not a nice way, but he was brought up with spiritualism, so he spends a lot of energy on that, but it's not a healthy breathing. It's a judgmental mea culpa type of belief, and so he's got like these spiritual, you know, in businesses, like at the end of the day, and then they go outside, they lock up, and then they pull down those metal barriers over the big windows, and is being a religious person bad? No. But being a spiritual person can be good, or being spiritual or religious can be good or bad, depending on what you do. But those metal protectors, it's like he's got that on the spiritual side, where, because sometimes you reach your energy out for him. At least this is my experience. You reach your energy out, and everything looks too perfect, like it's a perfect Stepford living room, except he's one of the automatons. What do you call them? Androids. He's one of them too. And sometimes I reach my energy out, and it's like, oh, I think there's a real person there, and then it's like those huge metal shutters just slam down. Yeah, so he has some spiritual awareness, and he has some spiritual abilities that he's not using properly. It's not healthy. It's not a breathing thing. And you know, in the same way with, well, I mean, physicality. If you're in a, you know, you're in a relationship, and there's, you know, it's healthy. It can be very healthy. Just part of life, and just keeping things healthy. And he's not getting any of that. Anyway, Knight of Pentacles. A whole lot of talk. The tone of voice sounds more like Junior and the Right View gals or whatever. 3 of Swords, heartbreak. 6 of Cups, 10 of Swords, 3 of Wands, and Justice. Okay. This is going to be the usual nonsense of, it's all a witch hunt, no matter what comes out, no matter what happens, blah, 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 blah. Trump is, no one's been more harassed, no one's more of a victim, nobody, blah, 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 blah. But stuff is coming, and this is going to hurt Pence's chances of being the next president. This idyllic dream he has. Because finally those political swords are going to reach the point in Trump's back. Political swords, not real. They're finally going to take him down. And even if Pence isn't brought into, even if he wasn't involved in all of it, because a lot of this is going to hit Trump, is going to be what he was doing before the election, it's still a lot of karma swirling, potentially coming back, and it ends up in front of the Supreme Court. Because if there's any, if Trump is dropping out or is doing whatever, and we're too close to the election, where it's too hard to get his name off the ballot, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Or it could be just that all the legal stuff that Trump and the Trump administration is going to have to deal with. So let's have a look at that justice card. What is that justice card referring to? Is it referring to the transfer of power, or is it referring to ballots? Is it referring to Trump? Trying to get the Supreme Court to rule in his favor on heaven knows what else. What is this justice card? It's against the Trump family. This is the card I get for the Trump dynasty. 10 of Cups, Hermit, King of Pentacles. The justice has to do with the Trump dynasty. And this is before the election, because what I'm getting is these are the happy family of Democrats saying, good, finally there is some small amount, there is some karma, there's some justice or what have you. So this is happy, potentially just really, really happy Democrats. And then these are Republicans. But they're both, it's like you can't start talking about who's going to be next after Trump, because it's like their energy has to fade into the background a little bit, while this is just sucking up all the air in the room. I don't think he's going to be a actual viable candidate. He might be on the ballot. He might not be. I think it's going to become kind of a mess. And while there is, in theory, there's a very clear line of succession, and but what if he doesn't want to drop out? What if, as soon as he leaves, Letitia James, well, she's already working against him. She doesn't have to wait till he's out of office. But everything that's in the Mueller report, the Democrats in the House can be like, okay, you're out, and now you're ours. Sit your butt down, and we're going to go through Miller's accusations against you, and we're going to have we're going to do all kinds of hearings on this. So, okay, let me run through a bunch of these. Yeah, I do. Please forgive me if I have said something offensive. It is never my intention, and I really care about people. And I would never. I would not just. I'm not. I'm not homophobic, I'm not racist, I'm not sexist, I'm, you know, so, but if I say something that is offensive, it was not meant to be offensive at all. Okay, we're 46. Let's go down through. I'm going to go run through some of these quickly. 46. Will the protesters get violent, or the anti-lockdown protesters get violent or deadly? Yeah, all the videos, multiple videos of them coughing on people because they were asked to put on a mask or do something. That's disgusting. That was disgusting before this, and it's extra disgusting now. Okay, anti-lockdown protesters. They're scared. They're scared. I reach out for their energy, and beneath the disgusting actions, let's see if I can reconnect. There we go. I think it reconnected. What have we got here? I think so. All right, in America, we have so little safety net. And so you get people who don't have much and who've never had much, and they've been brought up in a very zero-sum grasping way of looking at the world. So that they suddenly things shut down and what have you, and they don't have much savings, and then people are telling them that they still have to, that they can't do the only thing they've ever been able to do, which is to bully and be belligerent and you know, fight for what they want because they don't know any other way. They're kind of that kind of stunted mentality. Are they going to get violent? It's just you go down a millimeter, and it's just abject fear is what's underneath that, for what it's worth. Okay. Well, they're also listening to the troll in chief. Chariot. Knight of Cups. Seven of Cups. This is Trump. Trump's he's giving license to all of this. Four of Swords. Knight of Wands. I'm not getting. There is wind at the sail, behind the sails, that's pushing this idea forward because of Trump's position and his just lies and garbage. But there are also people who are quite sensible and who are, this feels like, you know, local policemen, where it's like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so, the policeman who lives in my town, works in my town, who's just telling me to do, you know, stand farther away or wear a mask or something. It's like, okay, you know. So there are voices of reason even on Twitter and in Congress and the CDC and what have you. So there is that in there. But it's just, this is a whole lot of tempest in a teacup. I mean, I'm not saying what they're doing is dangerous. What I'm saying is that this is the right-wing media stirring, and then it's like I don't know if you guys saw the movie The Ant-Man toward the end, and there's this epic battle on the front of the train, and it's this huge thing, and the train engine careens off the track, and you pull away, and it turns out it's a little toy set, and that little toy, the little thing just goes, you know, it basically just goes, and that's actually what that's what this feels like toward the end. They're just stirring. They're just stirring, and I've actually read that at least I want to say, please correct me if I'm wrong, like half of the people talking about it in social media are bots, things like that. So, okay, where am I? 51. Kamala Harris. All right, so straight. There's real reticence to pull anybody out of the Senate. That's what it feels like. Really afraid for the Senate. Really afraid for the Senate. It doesn't mean that she would necessarily be replaced by a Republican. It's just there's this real fear that's causing like a friction. Oh, thank you for stopping by, Salome. I appreciate it. Oh, I would love to see Kamala prosecute Billy Barr as well, Joe. Renfield Barr. Okay, Kamala Harris, VP. Kamala Harris. I'm having trouble reaching her energy. Her energy does not feel stressed. I'm not saying she doesn't have her worries. She absolutely, she has a lot on her plate, but I'm not getting the kind of the level of stress you get when the presumptive nominee for president is saying, I want you to do this with me. That would be a, thank you for the honor, but well, having a woman there, let alone a woman who's not whiter than, at least as white as this table, kind of garbage. She's definitely shown that she can stand up to jerks. 3 of Pentacles. Again, they're worried about the Senate. 3 of Swords. Knight of Cups. She's a good fighter. She's a very good fighter. It may not be her time yet. A long time ago, I did a reading on was there any general information on who Biden would choose as VP running mate? And what I got was that we've all got our heads down and we're doing whatever, and then it comes on the news that Joe Biden is chosen as running mate and it's so and so, and it's like the collective feeling among the Democrats is, oh, her? Oh, all right, whatever. So I think I understand why Biden's looking at certain people and not others, but oh boy, I'm not feeling it at the moment. I'd love to be wrong. I think she'd do a great job, but that's what I'm getting. Okay, and we're at 50, almost 56. Take a drink here. 56. Chris Wray. Have to read on Chris Wray. Have to. Oh, Melissa's saying I'd rather see Kamala Harris as Attorney General. Sure. Taking a vacuum, of course, clean up all the dead flies around Renfield Barr's desk. All right, Christopher Wray. Hang on, I'm feeling I need to. Okay. Head of the FBI, he was ordering an internal review of the Flynn investigation. Oh, Whitaker. Former acting AG Matt Whitaker says the FBI is launching a review of the probe. Oh, Whitaker is such. I did a reading a long time ago, really early on, and it was who is going to replace Sessions as Attorney General, and I got clear as day. I remember I got clear as a bell. It was this person. It's a guy, and this guy is not qualified. He is absolutely unqualified for the job, and I thought that was weird because usually they'll choose someone corrupt, but they won't choose someone who's just so far out of their depth. And yeah, then they found Whitaker, and it's like, oh, look at that. Ugh. For Wray, what's going on? You drinking the Trump Kool-Aid? Are you trying to shut Trump up? Whose side are you on? All right. Sit up straight. Close my eyes here for just a second. Christopher Wray. Whose side are you on? It feels like he has to do something. He doesn't want to throw his own people under the bus. He doesn't want to get his own people in trouble for doing their job. But he has to do something. Christopher Wray, what's going on with this investigation into the Flynn? Oh, Trump is breathing down his neck like belligerent, calling him at all hours. Pressure, 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 pressure. Page of Swords, justice. And the more Trump gets closer, he's feeling very small with the idea that the Supreme Court there is a potential for the Supreme Court to just expose. And the closer we get to the possibility of the Supreme Court maybe exposing Trump's financial records to some kind of oversight, the worse he gets. Because Trump's the president, he's special. And he shows up as different kinds of cards. He'll show up as the King of Pentacles if it's talking about his business growing up. He met the military academy, and it carried on until he was through his adulthood. Trump, the president, the emperor. Trump, the man, King of Wands, and the Justice card right there. I've got 3 cards here that are just saying Trump, 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 Justice, Tower, Heartache. Is it just me? It looks like a continuation of the readings I've been doing for days. Trump, 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 Justice, Supreme Court, Tower for the administration for Trump. And Wray ends up heartbroken. One way or the other, he ends up heartbroken. And I've got a death card sitting right here. See if I can get any more information. Oh yeah, the big man's toilet salesman. Yes. I literally cannot even look at him without thinking of that. And there's so many jokes I could make or so many things I could say, but I'm not going to go there. He's not worth it. Some people are just not worth the low energy you would have to take on to make fun of them. Wray, Christopher Wray. Pretty bird song. Oh, thank you. Are there threats to family, Sally's asking? Could be, I don't know. Let's see. Christopher Wray. Well, let's start there. Threats to your family. Nice family you've got here. Shame if something happened to them. No, I don't think so. I think he's too well protected. But he's enormous pressure. I mean, it feels like, these are an angle, like almost like they're leaning against the wall. This is a Trump dynasty. They're leaning on him. It's just leaning on him. Moon, 4 of Cups, strength. He's okay. He's okay. And he has allies. But this whole Trump thing is getting more and more unhinged. He himself and his family, they're just, I think they're spiraling. Jersey Mouse is saying, I feel bad for Ray. I think he wants to do the right thing. Well, take care, Stephen. I hope your day goes well. Christopher Wray, are you just trying to do the right thing? Or are you trying to protect your people? Are you trying to... Is this a sure whatever or a fine? Like, yeah, let's do this. Christopher Wray was getting death threats? Oh. Ann Coulter went after Trump on Twitter today. It must mean the GOP is done with him. Oh, popcorn. Trump fighting with Sessions and then Trump fighting with Ann Coulter. Oh, that's a good day. My favorite joke about her that I will repeat it for years. Who was it? She was roasted somewhere. And the guy said, and here we have Ann Coulter, who's written 12 books, 13 if you include Mein Kampf. It was great. Secrets. He also does want to test the. Are there a lot of secrets? Are there where the FISA courts or just kind of seeing what's there, what kind of comes up. 10 of Cups, 8 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, Justice, Devil. He's caught. He's caught in between, because if he stays in his job, he's caught in between very, very united Democrats, and he has to give the Republicans something. What I'm curious about, it's like, yeah, okay, we could, it's like doing an internal review. But Justice and the Devil, is this a miscarriage of justice, or is that the FBI was uncovering really, really nasty, corrupt stuff? Which I think I know the answer to, but I don't want to assume. All right, Justice and the Devil. Is Ray gonna? Is this his investigation going to be cut short by news? Big big news coming out. Judgment. Big old public judgment. Ace of Cups, Six of Cups, Nine of Cups, Moon, Death card. Well, Wray doing this, it's not going to, there's going to be a whole lot of judgment involved. This is just democratic energy, and it's good democratic energy, where they are in the right. They're sticking to the law. They're sticking to what knowledge they have. Were there mistakes made? Probably some, but not. It's not what the Republicans are trying to make it out to be. But Moon, Death, and Judgment, that's ugly. That's ugly. Moon, Death, and Judgment. Is that on the Flynn case? Is that what happens with stuff on Trump coming out? What is that in reference to? Because it's ugly. What is that ugly energy? Where is it? Where is that ugly energy? Oh, look, it's the Tower card again. Rancor, Five of Wands, Six of Cups. I got two cards for the center. Lies versus the truth, right at the center. This feels very strong. Wray investigating the Obama admin, yeah. Nine of Swords, Five of Cups. Yes, Republicans fighting for this, saying they have to do it. The Democrats are like, really? Hands are tied in disappointment. It's because it's going to come down to truth and, truth, sort of truth versus lies. It's not going to, yeah. Good luck. You're going to need it. All right, worksheet 69. I should answer some astrology questions. Let me see what else I can pull out of this list. And then if let me know your astrology questions and I'll see. CDC guidelines. So 6930. CDC guidelines being revised. All right, so have a look at that, and then CDC guidelines. It's a good thing those people are so dedicated to doing the right thing at the CDC. They are so dedicated. They are so, there's a lot of security in place, but they are very, very, if somebody really wanted to do something nefarious, and they worked in the high enough level at the CDC, oh, they could do some damage. They could do some damage. They could do some damage to Trump, but so I'm not, so nobody's going to do anything, but it's like, really, you're going to make people at the CDC mad? Really? High ups at the CDC? Really? Do you know what kind of weapons they have? Potential weapons. They're not going to do anything like that, but it's just like, really? That doesn't sound real smart. But then again, look what we're talking about. CDC had to water down their guidelines, which is just appalling. Are they going to revolt? Are they going to just hunker down and try to get through it? Are they still under siege? Are they? Are they leaking to the media? What's going on with the CDC and Trump? Let sleeping dogs lie. The man is insane. Yes. Night of one. And there's the man himself as a man, where he's making the stupid things like injecting bleach. And oh my gosh, don't do that. Don't. I realize this is for entertainment purposes. I'm not an advisor, but I think I can safely say, don't inject bleach. Don't inhale bleach. Don't. I think I can safely say that. Idiot. He's such an idiot. Okay, sorry. 5 of Pentacles. People are hurting. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you. Okay, 5 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, King of Cups, 5 of Wands, 4 of Cups. They're holding on. They're just trying to. I get Cups for Democrats, but I will also get it for medical personnel, and they're just, this is the patients, the people who are suffering, and they're just working. They've got their A game, King and Queen right there. They've got their A game going against this menace, but they're having to fight this political thing, and so they've had to give a little, which just bugs them, because they really are so based in science. They had to give a little. 4 of Wands, again, that's Trump golfing and doing stupid stuff and just spouting off. 4 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, Hierophant. And around the country there are hospitals closing. There are hospitals struggling because they can't do the elective surgeries in certain places, or they certainly couldn't before. Maybe they can't now. And so they're trying to help with that too. So they're focused as much as they possibly can just on this, and trying to ignore this, and the word that's coming to mind is buffoon, as much as possible. Yeah, that's what they're doing, the right thing. They're doing what they can. And bless them, absolutely bless them. Okay, well, before I go, does anybody have any astrology questions I might be able to answer for you, or I can try. If it's something particularly large and complicated, I might not be able to do it, but how do I read Neptune conjunct Venus in the Scorpio 6th house? Well, how does Election Day look for Trump and Biden? Harry's mom, I have looked at that recently. I was showing you the red lines and the blue lines. So if you go back to last Sunday, it was like a simple way to look at the election day. Let me get my clipboard. All right. As far as over on Patreon, there's this, and it's free for anybody. Can you help explain cusps? Allison is saying. I can just say simply, cusps is the space right between two different lines, or two different signs rather, and the energy starts melding together. So it's a little bit of one, a little bit of the other, but in general, since the planets are going this way, generally, like if it's at 29 degrees of Leo here, if you have a sun there, and it's, so close to that 30 degree mark, which would be 0 of Virgo, It was right there, so you'd think, oh, well, you know, are you really a Leo? Well, my experience is that yes, you're very much a Leo. It can go right up to the edge, and you're not just in just simple degrees, but even the energy, you're still a Leo. But if it's right near the cusp, there is a little blending of energies, especially with the two main axes. Right, I talk about where you've got ascendant here, descendant, midheaven, and then the IC at the bottom. These two, it's almost like they're magnifying glasses, so that anything that's near them, it takes on a little bit more prominence, a little stronger. So, and this was the horizon when you were born. Basically, this was the horizon. This was that's your midheaven. What was rising up over the horizon and descending below the horizon when you were born. So that's what cusps are, and so in cusp that just means it's between two things. It's usually between signs, but it can be other things as well. As far as let me go back up here. That's cusp. Now, Frosty Bean was reading like Neptune conjunct Venus in Scorpio in the 6th house. Okay, so basically, what you're gonna do, I don't know if I put that up on Patreon or not. I had started making a different chart that hopefully had some more details, but I don't think I've got it here. You're going to take it piece by piece. You're going to take. Okay, you're going to look down here, you're going to go, all right, it starts with the word Neptune. And this goes, and I'm showing you this because this works with everything. I mean, this is how you read charts. This is why having this cheat sheet where it's like, oh, okay, that works. So you're talking about Neptune. All right, Neptune down here has this trident symbol, okay, which is right here. Neptune rules art, fiction, spirituality. So there's that. Then Venus, okay, it's this feminine symbol. Venus is what we love and how we love. Okay? So you have what you love and how you love perhaps tied in with fiction, with creativity, with art, with movies, or how you love the people in your life. There may be a dreamy quality to it, a spiritual quality to it, or you just might be especially creative in how you express love. Okay, you said it was in Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio down here, it's the symbol, it's an M with like a scorpion tail. Okay, and that's up here. It's a fixed sign, so it's stubborn. Okay, and it's the 8th house, is the house of Scorpio. It rules sexuality, death, the phoenix, dying and arising from the ashes, being reborn. It's also other people's money. That can also be a part of it. Taurus over here is I have, values and valuables. Straight across is we have. So joint things and other people's money. So you've got that intensity. The key word for Scorpio is intense. Okay, and then you said the 6th house. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6th house is Virgo. It's the house of Virgo. Virgo is about health, daily work. I serve. It's the second of the earth signs, and it's I think of it as the craftsman, the craftsperson, that detail oriented, that beautiful craftsmanship you get in like Japan, who are just famous for their this meticulous craftsmanship. That's the 6th house, but it can also be health. People who work for nonprofits, people who, or your own physical health. So what you do is you use something like this to look up each of those. If I missed something, hang on. Okay, frosty beans there. So like, okay, I think we're still good. All right. So basically what you do is and I know I've got some blank sheets here. All right, we take the blank sheet, the paper cooking show. All right, so you take one blank sheet, place it in the clipboard. You get out the stinky marker. All right, so with all this stuff that we discussed, we're using these symbols. Okay, it's going to be in the sixth. You said it was in the sixth house. So I'm just going to do not the world's best circle, but it'll work. I'll just do this. And this is what you do if you want to look up anything in a chart. This is how you do it. You put together the keywords. Okay. 1, second house, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, sixth house. Neptune, trident, is conjunct, that symbol, of Venus. Sixth house. Neptune, that's a symbol for conjunct Venus in Scorpio. Remember, it was like that M with the scorpion tail? Okay, that's how you would write that. Okay, and if you're like, oh my gosh, it's confusing. No, it's not. It's just this. That's all it is. It's just a fast way. It's a shorthand for having to write it out. And so you have to. That's what it will tell you. Those keywords are what this is telling you. It is a blending of these two energies because they're conjunct. And it's in a very intense sign. So I mean, you can just tack on the word intense to whatever this is. Anytime you attach Scorpio to anything, you can almost replace it with the word intense. It's a fixed emotion. It's fixed water sign. It's fixed emotion. It's incredibly powerful. Ruled by Pluto, which also rules plutonium. That gives you some idea. So this would be. Perhaps the love language has to do with your love language as a dreamy quality, or it has to do with being of service to the people in your life, that sort of thing. So, and this in particular, I'll be honest, I have a real weakness for this particular question because I myself, in the sixth house, I'll just change this. I'm just going to draw this. Please excuse that black box. I actually have what's called a stellium. Oh, I may really have to close the window here. Is it bothering you guys? Because I'm almost done, but if it's bothering you, let me know. Okay, I have what's called a stellium. A stellium is where you have at least 3 planets in the same place. And I have... Yeah, I better close this. All right. Oh, it's fine? Okay. All right. Actually, it's going to get confusing if I don't pull out a clean sheet. Sorry. Just 1 second here. Talk amongst yourselves just for a second, just as I get this. Yeah. All right, I am, when I am not here, I am a writer, and I do some graphics work. Hence that is the most squashed circle anywhere. But I do graphics work and I do writing. And I have no earth in my chart. I have nothing to ground my chart. So some of the kind of normal jobs I've had in my lifetime really were just soul-sucking. Because in my sixth house, okay, so remember, this is the house, this is the sixth house is the house of, it's like an M with an extra, like half a heart going around the side. That's a symbol for Virgo. That sign of the craftsperson, okay. Now I do have, got my sun, which is almost at 14 degrees Scorpio. But then, right here, right before you get to the descendant, I've got 3 planets in Sagittarius. Mercury, conjunct Venus, conjunct Neptune. And then up here in the 7th house, I have Jupiter. And I will quickly just add in that right here I've got Saturn and Gemini, and yeah, it's in the 10th house. Mars. Up here, it's at like 0 degree something. Okay. Bear with me. This is relevant. Because you had mentioned Neptune and Venus in the same place. Well, I've got Neptune, Venus, and Mercury. Okay, and so Neptune was the arts. Neptune also rules Pisces. My mother is a Pisces. She's very religious. So the intangible, art, spirituality. So Neptune, Venus, Mercury. Art. If I was going to use one keyword, art, love, communicating. And this isn't just me. I'm not just like, oh, you know, I'm so interesting. Let me tell you about my chart. No, I'm not that interesting. I'm really not. But you get these keywords. So there is a combination of things. For instance, having your Venus, which is what and how you love. For me, I've got it in Sagittarius. Actually, all of these are in Sagittarius, but I've got it in Sagittarius. What is Sagittarius? Well, if you go back and look here, Sagittarius, it's up here, so you can look there. It's travel and law. It's we think, ruled by Jupiter, which is very optimistic, but Sagittarians are all about what's over the horizon, what's over there. People who have Venus in Sagittarius are notorious for liking foreign foods, dating foreign people, foreign, you know, even if you stick close to home and you've got other things going on, it's somewhat, you know, you'll be fascinated by somebody because they have like a regional accent. It's that what and how you love being something new, always wanting to learn. Mercury, communicating. Very blunt. Mercury in Sagittarius is very blunt. They really don't have time for a whole lot of nuance. They can be hedonists in general, Sagittarians in general, when it goes bad, when their Sagittarian nature goes bad. But very blunt, but Venus can also give beauty. It can actually make the writing more beautiful, the communicating more beautiful. And then you have Neptune, which rules art, fiction, spirituality. So you put it together in this house, the sixth, this wedge right here in the sky, the sixth house, which is the house of the craftsperson. Kind of hard to read, but it's the sixth house of Virgo. It's the house of the craftsperson, right? My sun, my sense of self is in Scorpio, so it's intense. It's there. It's intense. I've got that Scorpio strength, but there's always going to be this background flavor of this craftsperson, and this is why when I've got crackling audio on my video, it starts making me crazy. Because it's this nitpicky detail stuff. So, you know, I made covers. Yesterday made covers for this week on the channel, and I'm pleased with them. But I can't. I have to create something. I always have to do something that makes it interesting, because I can't just let it go. I can't just go, okay, I've got a standard thing, I'll just throw it up there, or I'll just. You know what? No. I need to craft something. All right. So you put these keywords together up here, Mars, and this is your chart too. You've got a Mars, you've got a Neptune, you've got a Venus, you've got a Scorpio, not a Scorpio. You've got a Mercury. Mars is how we act, how we take action, and what we do. It's the warrior, the I am, the how you take action. Okay. It rules Aries, and Mars and Aries are just names for gods of war. That's why your loaded Celtic cross layout is art autumn. Thank you. Okay, so this is the warrior, okay, who's happiest in his own sign of, you know, I'm a god of war. Oh, I have the name of a god of war too. Let's be forceful, and our color is bright red, and, you know, very, very take charge, or rather, not necessarily take charge, but definitely take action kind of thing. Well, if you go all the way around, the last sign of the zodiac is Pisces. All right, my Mars is in Pisces, the very beginning of Pisces. And what is Pisces? Religion, institutions we serve. It's also, remember, it's ruled by Neptune, art, fiction, spirituality. So how you act, in this case, going to be that Mars. So this is act. I'll just put action rather, and this is at 0 degrees of. I'll put it over here. The symbol for Pisces. Okay, and because this is at like 1 and 2 degrees down here, I'll just put 2 degrees. Because this is at 2 degrees here, and that's at 0 here. The numbers are very similar, so you count forward. And when you go forward, and you go from here, and you go through Capricorn, and you go through Aquarius, then you hit this, which means these are 90 degrees apart. So there's this overload in that comes down, and it's in the 10th house of career, status, and achievement, which is ruled by Saturn, which is about structural limitations, bringing things into physical form. So with this overload from here to here, this energy is going this way, because I've also got Saturn over here, which I just mentioned. That's called a T-square, where you have opposition, but then you've got one thing at 90 degrees. Okay, I completely lost you guys at some point. I am so sorry about that. I'm not exactly sure where I left you. But, okay, we're back. Okay, let me see if I can go back up. Okay, so I was looking for Holly. Okay, Holly's saying, all right, she's 7th house, so that's this wedge here. She has Venus, so let me make the symbol for Venus, which is the female symbol, Venus, in Leo. Okay. And in the 8th house, which is here, she has Mars. Okay, Mars, that male symbol. In Libra. All right, make the symbol for Libra. It's like it looks like scales. Okay. All right, so it looks like scales, like you'd hold, like there would be something in the middle and then it would balance out the two sides, because that's what Libra's all about. All right, what this is saying, all right, okay, would probably help if we did just double check on what houses these are. 7th house here, so it's right there. This is the 7th house, is marriage partnerships. The we are, whereas Aries over here is I am. This Libra's all about we are. At its best, Libra is all about partnership, beauty, rules fashion. It's a wonderful, joyous sign. On the negative side, when it goes wrong, they are the world's most indecisive people, and like pull your hair out kind of indecisive kind of thing, all right? But it is a cardinal sign, so it does take action. It just takes, it's so hard for it to decide. Sometimes there is someone I'm thinking of who has Mars. It's a man, and he is heterosexual, and his Mars, which, and then again with Mars and Venus, you get a certain gender is a spectrum, but I'm saying traditionally heterosexual couples, the Mars usually will explain how people express themselves, how they take action, and then Venus is what and how they love. Venus can be a little bit more passive, Mars can be a little bit more proactive, but the man I'm thinking of, he has his Mars. How he expresses his masculinity is in Libra, and I want to say it might be done his 5th house. It doesn't matter. But the point is that he's lovely, but he knows fashion inside and out, and he will he'll drive people crazy around him sometimes, where he's like choosing an earring. And or just making a decision about what to wear or what to do. It's just this how he's going to present himself as a heterosexual man. That's how it comes out. So here, this house, there's background flavor of Libra. Leo is down here. Leo is the 5th house. It's what you create, when you have fun. It's also the kings and the queens of the zodiac. It's a fixed sign. They very much need to be, they want to be in charge. There is this, it's loving this being in charge. Venus in Leo is another fashion kind of person. They will dress up for no reason whatsoever, traditionally. The queen or the king, and then especially in the 7th house of the 7th house here. I don't know you, but I would expect, if I looked at this, I would expect that you have a great sense of style, and it's very important to you. And then your Mars, how you take action, is Libra, which is again this beautiful energy that's here. This is the house of Libra. So how you act is going to be in this beautiful we are kind of energy. It's in the 8th house, so it's going to be very intense, very, you know, if somebody's going to survive the apocalypse, it's probably going to be Scorpios, because they're just, you know, they are intense. So you just, you just take the keywords and you just put them together and you say, okay, does that apply to me? Or how, to some extent, is this thing even, you know, one of the things I do is I look at my own chart, and I have looked at my own chart as, in some respects, perhaps it's something to aspire to. Pisces and Virgo are intercepted in my chart, Holly's saying. When something's, it has to do with this image shows all the houses being the same size, but in actual, how far you were away from the equator when you were born, these will be larger or smaller. For instance, on my chart, I've got my ascendant and descendant, but my midheaven is like way over here. So these 3 houses get compressed way down, and these houses get bigger. So what can happen is that you end up having an entire 30-degree span of a sign. It's like the house actually starts here and it ends over here, and this is like tucked away inside. And that can happen. It was said, one way it was described to me was that Cher, the singer, she has Scorpio intercepted in her chart. And until she was able to access that inner intensity, that death and the ability to be reborn, also to her sexuality and all of this, until she reached a certain age, until she really embraced that, she had trouble accessing that energy. But once she tapped into it, yeah, she's herself, she's her own person. She had the fantastic, very sexy clothes. She has all the intensity and the, you know, all this stuff. So it's called an intercepted, but it's not the most important thing. So that is that. Well, I hope that helps a little. First house starts at 15 Aquarius, ends at 2 Aries. My chart is so wonky. Oh, wow. That's got to be fun, Holly. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to do it for me. I really hope I was able to help you today, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So I will be back tomorrow. Oh, as a Virgo, Viola's saying I can definitely relate to what drives you crazy. Oh yeah, isn't it? But we make stuff, and it's worth it all for that. But yeah, there's definitely some pulling out of your hair along the way. But then we have these beautiful things. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to say in here, it kicked me out, but I just reconnected because I just wanted to say thank you. And thank you so much to the moderators. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Really appreciate it. All right, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.